Hi, y'all. Welcome to Faith Filled Growing. This week's episode, we are going to be cleaning out my freezer. I had at the end of last growing season, there was some stuff I just did not have time to harvest. I'm sorry, let me back that up. There was some stuff I did not have time to process after harvesting. I did harvest it, I washed it, put it in a Ziploc bag, and stuck it in the freezer. So now it's time for me to deal with that. I've got to make room in my freezer, and a bunch of that stuff has got to get out. So this week I'm going to be processing basil, oregano, and onion scraps. I don't know if you know or not, but you don't have to throw away the scraps that you cut off of an onion when you're getting ready to cook. You know, the two ends and the skins, you don't have to throw that away. You can use all of the onion as long as it's not bad, as long as you're not cutting off something that's rotten or mushy or anything like that. You don't want to keep those, but as long as it's still a whole good onion, then there's no need to throw away perfectly good parts of the onion. And on this week's episode, I'll be showing you how to take care of that. So anyway, let's just jump right in. Hi, y'all. I wanted to show you what I'm about to do, or what I've done so far. Last growing season, I had a bunch of basil. I did not have time to do anything with it, so literally all I did was wash it, pick it off, put it in some Ziploc bags, and stuck it in my freezer. Well, I'm needing to make room in my freezer now, so I just took it out of the freezer and I just broke it up and put it on my freeze dry trays, and I'm going to freeze dry it. But I wanted to show you what it looks like first. This was some purple basil, so it's like dark. Some of it is dark, some of it's light. It just depended. I just put all the basil together. I didn't care which kind went with which. I just put it all together. So anyway, I'm going to freeze dry this, and I'll show you what it's like after it's freeze dried. Okay, one more tip that I have, that when you're cutting up onions, I take all of the leftovers, like the ends that you cut off, the skins, all of this leftover stuff, and I'm actually going to just freeze dry all of it. You could dehydrate it if you don't have a freeze dryer, but I'm going to freeze dry it, and then this I'm going to turn into onion powder. Once it's freeze dried, I'm going to blend it up, and this makes great onion powder for seasoning mix. So I may have to put some of this on more than one tray, because it looks like it'll be too much for one tray. I think I have another one. I may have to cut some of this just so it's not piled up too much, which I may wait until it thaws out a little bit, because it's still kind of frozen, like the big chunks are frozen. And my hands are freezing. Going to go back in the freezer for now. Okay, so it's time to put the stuff in the freeze dryer. Let me first show you here. You first turn the freeze dryer on, and you have to let it cool down. until it tells you. It's 15 minutes that it tells you to wait because it wants the chamber in here to be cold before you put anything in. So I'm going to go to the freezer. This was the first tray that is going to be for the onion powder. So before I did anything, I took my seal off and I washed it to make sure there was no dust or grime on it, because any little bit of dust could cause the vacuum to not seal completely. So now I'm just gonna, I want to make sure over here I have my valve closed. So I want to make sure that that's closed before, and I know it's closed because of the position of the handle. And then I'm just going to turn this on. Maybe. There we go. And now what's going to happen is it's going to freeze, and it'll freeze down to like -2 degrees. And once it's all frozen, then it'll start doing the vacuum process to basically pull all the moisture out of the food that's in there. Okay, so I've got the basil, the onions, and the oregano out of the freeze dryer. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put the onions in here, and you can see they're like very dry, okay? And they're just going to crush up very small. So I'm just going to put all of this in here. So I could crush it a little bit, but we'll do that with the tamper for the Vitamix. It smells so good. Wow. Oh. Can you see that? Now we have fresh onion powder. Let me get my jar. We're going to use this just because it's got a little wider mouth. Fresh onion powder. Okay, now to do the other tray. Now, the good thing about this is all of this would have just gone into the trash. But we are using it in a way that we can get the full use of the onion instead of throwing some of it away. It's still going to taste just like onion, but it's made in a form that we would want to eat it, as opposed to these aren't something that you would normally cook and eat with. They still have flavor, but because we're putting it in an onion powder, then you can still flavor things and have full use of the onion. Fresh onion powder, homemade. Okay, so now we're gonna do the basil. This is some basil that I had already done a while back. And I don't like to make powder out of it, so I'm not gonna do it in the Vitamix. I'm just going to use the back of a spoon and just crush it. So I'm gonna put, well, there we go. I'm gonna just put it in my jar. Oh, it smells so good. I'm not sure how much this is going to make. This might not be a big enough jar, but it might be. We'll see. If I have to get a bigger jar or another jar, I can. Let me grab a spoon. So I just use my wooden spoon. Because with the basil, I would rather have like little flakes and not powder. I don't want powdered basil. I wish this had smell-o-vision so I could let you smell it. It smells so fresh. And this, like, by growing my own herbs, and then if you don't have a freeze dryer, you can dehydrate them. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can dry them by hanging them. As long as you don't live in a really humid area, I would say. If you live in a humid area, you could use your oven. You could just put your oven on a very, very low temperature, like 150 degrees, and dry them in the oven. And this saves, one, so much money. Two, you have a lot of satisfaction because you grew them. And three, they taste so much more fresh than what you buy in the grocery store. Oh, I forgot to get a lid for that. Let me grab a lid. Hang on. I want to keep these super fresh. What I can do, I have a couple of these rings that don't quite fit correctly. I need to throw them away. Well, they fit a different jar. But if you have one of these, this is a vacuum packer. You can put this on and you can vacuum pack it. But before I do that, I'm going to, and that's usually what I do. This one is vacuum packed, so all the air has been sucked out of it, and it just makes it last a little longer. It stays more fresh, I should say. However, basil, I tend to use a bit of basil. We'll see if we can get some more in this jar and fill it up all the way. Because I had some purple basil, it's not all completely bright. Like this one is really bright green. The purple basil is a little darker, but I'm okay with that. It still tastes good. What I may do, let me see if I have a half-gallon jar. Hang on. I do not have another empty half-gallon jar. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to dump this in a bowl because I don't want to keep pressing down on the bottom and make the bottom like powder and this not. And I want to do a good mix of it. So I'm going to dump it in a bowl and then I'll dump it in here after I get the other. Ooh, that smells so good. Ah. Look how beautiful that is. Can you see? All right, I don't know if I'll be able to get it all. Let's see how many cups. This is a little over 4 cups. We'll see. There we go. We got it. Fresh homemade basil. Okay, so I will show you how this works. So basically I've got my lid on it, my canning lid, and I'm just going to push this down and turn it on, and then it's going to vacuum pack it, basically remove all the air that's inside of there, and then I will do this one again. So now we need to do oregano. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Let me get a jar while that's vacuum packing. Okay. I'm going to go wash this and dry it so that it doesn't have any basil on it. Okay. Has a little basil smell, but I think it'll be okay. I usually do basil and oregano together anyway. Okay, so this is done, and see, it is vacuum packed. Now I'm going to put the other part on this because this is a large mouth. This is a regular mouth. So I need the smaller piece on this one. This jar might be too small. If it is, then I'll go back to the big one. Okay. And this one's freeze-dried. There we go. You know, with the holidays coming up, well, I know not everybody can grow like me year round because we're fixing to go into the winter. So I was going to say you could grow some herbs and do this and give it as gifts. But you could do it next year, plan on it next year, grow an abundance of it, more than what you need. Let me show you. Let's see, this is 2 cups. Let's see if we can get it all to fit in here. I think we did. There we go. Let me get a lid. And then, you know what I should do before I do this? Okay, what I wanted to do was show you the difference. I have these in my cabinet, and this is store-bought, and this is, let me put it, there we go. Maybe you can see the difference in the 2 colors. So this one is a lot more brown, and this one's more green. It's more fresh. Now, I have never tried just plain dried herbs before, but I want to taste them and just see if I can tell the difference or what I think the difference is. This side is the store-bought. Okay. Wow. There is a big difference. This one, you really got to suck on it for a while to get any flavor. This one, you immediately have flavor as soon as it hits your mouth. That's pretty impressive. I'm just going to put all this in this jar. It's not going to matter. I will still use this up. I'm trying to get rid of the last of this. I didn't have any of my own already prepared, so that's why I had that. But now that I have my own, I will hopefully try to just keep myself in stock. Now I want to try the basil, and I'll show you the difference in the basil. I just sealed this, but there's the difference in these two. Okay, let me see what I think of this too. Does not taste like I thought it would taste. By far, that is so much better. That's delicious. I'm surprised. Very, very surprised at the difference in the basil. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to seal these. So, and I'm going to do clean up the kitchen a little bit too and get things cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed watching how to preserve basil, oregano, and your onion scraps. And hopefully you won't let those onion scraps go to waste. One thing I do want to just mention about the onion scraps, if you don't have a freeze dryer, you can dehydrate them. And if you don't have a dehydrator, you can use your onion. Same thing for the basil and the oregano. You can use your oven, put it on like 125, no more than 150. Put it on like a wire mesh rack, and you can dry your herbs that way or your onions that way. I would make sure that your onions are cut thinly, especially if you have bits and pieces of it. Maybe pull the rings out, so they're all separated out if you're doing it in the oven. But you can use your oven if you don't have a freeze dryer or a dehydrator. So anyway, the next video, I'm going to do a bonus video this week. Normally I just put one video out a week, but I'm going to do a bonus video because I had quite a bit that I filmed this weekend. There was more that I pulled out of the freezer. And so to be sure that you don't miss it, go ahead and like and subscribe, and then hit the notification bell so that you get notified for all videos. And then when that next video comes out later this week, you'll know when it came out and you won't miss it. If you like this kind of content, and if you know other people that do, if you would share my channel with them, I would really, really appreciate it. When you like and subscribe, that also helps me because it lets YouTube know to send my video out to more people, for more people to watch, and just kind of helps grow the channel. So anyway, thank you for sticking with me this long. If you've watched through the whole video, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you again. Talk to you later.